If you tried to commute into downtown Denver from your suburbs this morning, you already know exactly what we are talking about today. Starting right now, June 2026, the Denver metro area is entering the next major phase of its downtown rail reconstruction project. This is a $152 million effort to rebuild some of the agency's oldest light rail infrastructure in the downtown loop and along the Colfax and Auraria corridor. We are seeing temporary suspensions of 3 major light rails. This is a major disruption to one of Denver's oldest and most heavily used light rail corridors. I'm Jeremy Kane. I'm a real estate agent and a native here in Colorado. My job is to help you build wealth and make smart, long-term decisions about your home. Today, we are doing a deep dive into the RTD downtown loop closure, and we'll also be looking into massive statewide rail expansions that are forcing Denver to tear up its tracks. Let us start with the immediate reality of your commute. RTD is executing a full in-depth track reconstruction right now through the Colfax alignment and the Central Business District loop. Because the sheer scale of tearing up concrete that has been there since 1994, they have had to temporarily suspend the D, H, and L legacy lines through the first quarter of 2027. If you used to take the D line connecting Littleton and Englewood to downtown, RTD has brought back the C line to Union Station. If your destination is Union Station or Lodo, you are set. If your destination is deeper into downtown, RTD says you can connect from Union Station on the 16th Street free ride or the free Metro ride. So a lot has changed here. For H-line riders, RTD suspended the H-line, extended the R-line to the Ridge Gate, and added the temporary T-line between Lincoln and I-25 Broadway stations. Northbound riders can transfer at Bellevue Station to an E or a T train, with the T-line running every 15 minutes during the busiest parts of the day. So as you can see, it's getting confusing, it's getting convoluted. Finally, the L line is suspended to help absorb those riders. RTD boosted Route 43 to every 7.5 minutes during the peak transition times between Central Park and Auraria campus. When you're standing on the crowded platform at Bellevue Station, it's incredibly easy to just be angry at the city. The tracks have been carrying 300 trains a day for decades, and the de-icing salts have corroded the foundation. But a lot of homeowners are asking if this is just a project to patch old potholes, or if this is connected to the massive stadium and neighborhood projects we keep hearing about. This RTD project is officially an asset repair and reliability project. It is about replacing 30-year-old tracks, improving reliability, and protecting the long-term integrity of the system. However, happening at the exact same time, Denver is planning several major redevelopment projects. This transit loop is operating alongside an unprecedented $20 billion transformation of the Denver's urban landscape. If you're interested in that, make sure you check out my video I just did on this channel about the $20 billion infrastructure changes here in Denver. Take the River Mile, for example. River Mile remains a major long-term redevelopment proposal for Elitch Gardens area, but Elitch's is still operating, and part of its timeline remains fluid. It is designed to be a highly connected new neighborhood. Modernizing the transit infrastructure now prepares the city to eventually serve the massive influx of residents and commercial traffic that the River Mile will generate. Right there by Ball Arena, Nuggets, Avs, Elitch's, all of that is going to look different. The exact same logic applies to the National Western Center's campus expansion and transformation in a 250-acre year-round hub. We're also seeing this with the Denver Broncos. The Broncos have already named Burnham Yards as their preferred site for a new stadium and mixed-use district. Though the project is still in planning and community review stage, neighborhoods adjacent to major entertainment districts historically experience significant shifts in value in new development dynamics. The city is tearing up a 1994 foundation to lay the groundwork for a denser and more connected future. And that brings us to the biggest catalyst of all. Denver is not just rebuilding its core for local commuters. It is preparing Union Station to become the definite hub for a massive statewide passenger rail expansion. Just weeks ago, in the spring of 2026, the state officially greenlit the Front Range Passenger Rail Project, which has been officially named the Colorado Connector, or COCO, By January 2029, we're going to see daily passenger rail services running directly from Fort Collins into Denver. This is a $330 million project that will completely alter how people live and work in northern Colorado. We already know the Fort Collins station is slated to be built near the Drake Max bus station to plug right into existing transit in central Fort Collins. Furthermore, they're planning a special event rail station at the new Burnham Yard Broncos Stadium, specifically for the Colorado Connector line. This means fans in Fort Collins or Pueblo will eventually be able to take a train directly to a Sunday football game without ever sitting in I-25 traffic. Then you have the Mountain Rail project. We're looking at phase 1 launching in late 2026. This is a year-round daily passenger rail service connecting Denver to Granby through the historic Moffett Tunnel. This is not the seasonal winter park ski train. This is a permanent regional transit, and future phases aim to expand it all the way out to Craig and Steamboat Springs. CDOT is even exploring a West Metro infill station in Arvada, so suburban residents can hop on the mountain rail without having to park in downtown Denver. Denver is tearing up the downtown loop today because in 3 years, the volume of traffic flowing into the city from Fort Collins, the mountains, and eventually the southern Front Range is going to be staggering, and we have to be ready. What's this mean for you? Let's talk about managing the daily friction and what options you have. Knowing that the city is building a massive network for 2029 does not change the fact that you have to get to work tomorrow morning. If the primary RTD workarounds add too much time to your day, you need to look at your secondary options to protect your lifestyle. First, look at the Park and Ride regional bus network rather than the light rail hubs. If you commute from the north utilizing the Flatirons Flyer Bus rapid transit system, this will save you immense time over standard traffic. If you are a southeast commuter impacted by the H-line suspension, look at the regional express bus routes that utilize the I-25 express lanes and can completely bypass the rail bottlenecks at the Bellevue station. Second, utilize this civic shift to regenerate your workplace structure. Many Denver-based companies are actively adjusting their hybrid policies because of these major transit overhauls. Shifting your in-office days to off-peak travel times or securing an extra remote day during the heaviest construction phases is a practical way to reclaim your week. Now we just got to get your boss on board. Finally, explore the localized micro-transit options. RTD operates the Flex Ride system in specific low-density suburban areas. This is on-demand service, connects you directly from your neighborhood to alternative transit corridors, eliminating the need to drive and fight for parking. But what if you look at the next 2 or 3 years of construction detours, traffic rerouting, and daily commute friction, and you realize that lifestyle adjustment just is not enough? That's when looking at your home itself becomes the logical next alternative. If you are interested in a quick home eval, click this QR code right here, and we can absolutely make that happen. And then we can take it from there. So let's zoom out a little bit. How does the multi-year civic disruption affect the home you live in right now? The traffic you fight and all of the things. When a city undergoes a major infrastructure project, we see a very real psychological factor take hold called construction fatigue. The noise, shifting traffic patterns, and extended commute times create daily frustration. Eventually, that friction pushes exhausted homeowners to make a move. They decide they no longer want to deal with the localized disruption, so they put a sign in the yard just to get away from it. And that's ultimately what I want to talk to you about. If you are interested in that, let's have a conversation because there's major upside when it comes to this. If you're feeling that squeeze right now, it is important you look into the strategy before you make a move. Buyers have more leverage than they did during the frenzy years, with the metro median sales price sitting around $599,000. When you list a house during a massive construction phase, the people looking to buy your home are going to see the detours and the noise or a ton of upside. It just depends if they get scared off or they go for it. But the hesitation that comes from this, buyers in this market right now expect a discount to take on that headache. If you sell purely out of frustration today without a plan, you may be leaving significant money on the table, or you may be taking advantage of a major opportunity. The strategy is to look past the current friction when this modernized transit infrastructure is fully completed in 27 or 28, and when the Colorado Connector starts bringing commuters down from Fort Collins in 2029. Your neighborhood is going to be incredibly well connected. Holding your property through the chaos phase may allow you to capture the full value of that new infrastructure once it is completed, or capitalize on the excitement. You want to own the home when the multi-million-dollar civic investment is permanently priced into your neighborhood? Well, let's make a plan for that. Ultimately, it's up to you. Can you handle the traffic? Can you handle the noise? Can you handle the difference that it's going to make in your commute? Whether you are a RTD customer or just a homeowner who's driving and has to deal with all of the detours on that end, let's have a conversation. Your home is an asset to manage well. Decisions should be based on long-term strategy, not just frustration of a new commute. You might review your situation and decide that cashing out to move to a quieter suburb is still the best choice for you and your family and your quality of life. Or you might decide to hold tight and let the city finish building this new network around you, and then maybe you take advantage of the network or you cash in then. But ultimately, it's completely up to you. My team are here to help you build that plan. We help homeowners across the Denver suburbs and northern Colorado navigate these exact types of civic shifts. There is a link in the description below to schedule a zero pressure strategy session with me. We can review your home's current value and map out your best options. If you want to know exactly where this city is heading and you want to see the specific details of the stadium relocation, the River Mile, and the National Western Center that we talked about today, you need to watch my full breakdown of Denver's $20 billion transformation right here on this channel. Just check it out. I will link it here as well. Click the video on the screen. We cover exactly how the mega projects are going to alter the future of our region. I will see you over there, and continue to stay tuned to what's happening in Denver as we're going to deep dive into these broader projects as we move forward. We'll see you next time.